You ever wonder about that? You ask your phone a question, and sometimes the answer is instant. But other times, there's that little pause. Well, that's not just a random delay. It's actually a tale of two different kinds of AI, the massive giants living in the cloud and the super quick specialists right there in your pocket. So let's dive in and figure out how this all works.
See that little difference in response time? It's not a bug, it's a feature. Seriously, it's all by design. It actually tells us something really important about how AI works today. Is it doing its thinking way out in some giant data center, or is it happening right there on your device? To get why that matters, we've got to pop the hood and see what's going on inside.
All right, so at the very heart of all this is a piece of tech called a language model. You can think of it as the brain behind the whole operation. It's what lets a machine actually understand and, speak our language. But what is a language model, really? Okay, here's a way to think about it. Imagine an AI that's basically done the impossible. It's read a gigantic portion of the internet. We're talking books, articles, websites, you name it. And the whole point of doing that was to become an expert. Not on the facts, but on the patterns of how we talk. Its whole job is to get what we're asking and then give us back something that sounds, well, human. Not just correct, but natural.
And it's wild. When you boil it all down, its main job is shockingly simple. It's just trying to predict the next word. That's it. It looks at a string of text, finds the patterns it's learned, and then makes a super educated statistical guess about what word is most likely to come next. The magic isn't just that it can guess, but how incredibly good it is at getting it right, over and over again.
Okay, but that's a huge leap, right? How do you go from just predicting the or a to writing poetry or spitting out functional code? Well, it all comes down to this absolutely revolutionary engine that's running the whole show.
And that engine is called the transformer architecture. This thing was a total game changer back in 2017. See, before the transformer, models had to read text one word at a time. It was like trying to understand a movie by looking at it one frame at a time. Super hard to see the big picture. The transformer changed everything. It gave AI the power to look at whole sentences, even whole paragraphs, all at once. Suddenly, it could understand context in a way we'd only dreamed of.
So, what's the secret sauce that makes the transformer work so well? It's a clever idea called self-attention. It's all about connecting the dots. Let's take a simple sentence to see how it works. The student solved the problem because he studied hard. Pretty straightforward for us, right? But for an AI, how does it know for sure who he is referring to?
Well, this is where self-attention comes in. The model looks at every single word and kind of weighs its connection to every other word in the sentence. It quickly learns that the word he has a super strong connection back to student. It's not just guessing, it's mathematically figuring out the relationships. And that ability to map all those connections is what gives these AIs their incredible power to understand context.
So this powerful transformer architecture has basically led to two different characters in the world of AI, two types of models that we're interacting with all the time. You've got the giant and you've got the specialist.
And the first, most glaring difference between them is just sheer scale. We're talking about large language models, or LLMs, which are measured in billions of parameters. Now, parameters are just the internal knobs and dials the model uses to think. And then you have small language models, or SLMs, which are in the millions. We're talking about a difference that's literally orders of magnitude. And that one single difference in size, it creates this massive domino effect. The big guys, the LLMs, they need enormous power. They live in the cloud on huge server farms, and they are thirsty for energy. But the little guys, the SLMs, they're so much leaner. They can live right on your laptop or even your phone, and that's why they can give you those super fast, almost instant answers.
So let's stick with our characters. The LLM is like a giant, world-class public library. It's read almost everything, so its general knowledge is just vast. You can ask it to write an essay or solve a complex research problem, and it can do it. But just like a real library, it's a massive building that needs a ton of resources to keep the lights on. The SLM, on the other hand, it's like a pocket-sized, super specialized field guide. It's not trying to know everything about everything. It's designed to do one thing, or a few things, incredibly well and incredibly fast, like recognizing your voice or translating a menu. And the best part? It can do its job right there on your device. No internet connection required.
So it's really easy to think of this as a competition, right? The big, powerful one versus the small, fast one. But that's not the right way to look at it at all. The real magic, the real innovation, is how they're designed to work together as a team, playing to each other's strengths.
Let's go back to your phone's virtual assistant.
It's the perfect real-world example of this teamwork. When you say, hey, set a timer for 5 minutes, that's the little SLM on your phone that kicks in. It understands your voice, gets the command, and does it, boom, instantly. But then if you ask it something complex, like summarize the latest research in quantum physics, the little guy on your phone knows it's out of its league, so it smartly hands off that question to its big brother, the powerful LLM living in the cloud.
And this is what we call the hybrid approach. And really, it gives you the best of both worlds. You get the lightning speed, the efficiency, and importantly, the privacy of having the SLM handle simple stuff right on your device. But you also have access to the basically limitless knowledge and deep thinking power of the cloud-based LLM whenever you need it.
And listen, this idea of them working together, this hybrid model, it isn't just a clever trick to make our phones work better right now. It is absolutely the blueprint for the future of AI.
Yeah, we're moving toward a future where this teamwork gets so smooth, you won't even notice it's happening. We're going to see more multimodal AIs. That means they won't just get text, they'll understand images, audio, the whole shebang. They'll also become more agentic, which is a fancy way of saying they'll be able to go out and do complex tasks for you, not just answer your questions. And all of it will be incredibly personalized to you.
So if there's one big thing to take away from all this, it's this. It's not LLM versus SLM. It's not the giant against the specialist. The real story here is about balance. It's about how we balance the unbelievable power of these huge AI brains with our need for stuff that's fast, private, and accessible in our everyday lives.
And that really leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? As AI weaves itself into pretty much everything we do, how are we going to keep finding that right balance? That balance between the incredible, world-changing power of the giants in the cloud and the speed, privacy, and efficiency of the specialists in our hands. The way we answer that, well, that's going to define our future with this technology.